guys, this is Camfree15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another My Hero Academia manga chapter review for you guys, and we are back with the next chapter of the storyline, which this chapter essentially concludes the Star and Stripe battle versus Shigiraki battle, which, let me just say, this is crazy, and what a twist. I never thought I would see this coming, nor from the standpoint that a character were introduced for about, I think it was like 6 chapters or so, and they're already dead, is a definite plot twist. But as well as the whole twist with the whole standpoint that, well, they found a way to depower Shigaraki in a way where it's like, okay, now Deku can seemingly stand a chance because of what Star and Stripes quirk is doing to Shigaraki from within his body. So that's crazy enough as itself. But yeah. Now, obviously, if you're wondering, Camfree15, why you sound like you're so soft spoken, and why you're holding your cheek and everything, and why are you like, I guess you can say, why do you not sound as energized as you typically would? Well, I'm gonna try to keep it down on the download. Don't take this as me being like kind of like, oh, I hated the chapter or something. On Friday, I got my wisdom teeth pulled, and yeah. So right now, I kind of just talking right now is making my jaw sore, as well as I've freaking my jaw. It doesn't hurt, but you know, if you've gotten your wisdom teeth pulled, how it feels like, you know, only like still, for me, it's been 3 days. So, listen, it's not the best, but sometimes I have to channel through it. That's why if you've been a subscriber on the channel, you haven't seen videos for the past 2 days. I feel strong enough. My jaw's still sore, so I'm gonna try not to talk as much, but it is what it is. So, let's get to it. So we know where we last left off. The last chapter, chapter 332, with Shigaraki grabbing a hold of Star and Stripe's face. So obviously the one thing is, well, Star had to have done something. My prediction was Endeavor was going to get involved. Well, I was wrong on my prediction because Endeavor never got involved at all and stuff like that. But let's start off with My Academia chapter 333, titled Spectre. Now, Shigaraki in his head is going on saying, what set me on edge like nothing else was the thought of new order and one for all colluding. Now, this is more like the all for one personality within Shigaraki speaking. So yeah, but it goes on to say, I put a stop to the safety commission and got my overseas associates to stir up trouble in order to delay the convergence for foreign heroes upon Japan. I planned to perfect this body and steal one for all before challenging New Order. One for All accumulated the power that could foil all my designs. Once it was mine, all the other conspiring forces of the world, including New Order, would have been ants. Essentially saying, like, if I had One for All, you know, the only quirk that probably could have stood a chance against me would be One for All. But if I were to have One for All in the New Order, then essentially I'd become the most unstoppable force in all of humanity, and that would have been game over, ball game. So he goes on to say, whether you knew it or not, this most likely unsanctioned, free-spirited early visit of yours was the one scenario I hated to imagine. Placing this incomplete body on the front line was a gamble I was forced to make. But I've won this roll of dice, USA. And that's when Star and Stripe goes on to make an order saying that Kathleen Bate won't decay. So I'm guessing Kathleen Bate is her real name. So yeah, she goes on to say she won't decay. And this is when Shigaraki goes on to say, you total idiot. I've stolen your quirk, so guess what? it's not going to work. Your little order's not going to work and everything. So yeah, now essentially Shigaraki goes on to say your body began decaying the moment I absorbed your quirk. New order requires those verbal commands, so you couldn't protect yourself as it was being stolen. You prioritized saving your own skin and lost everything in the process. This is where it truly begins, Yoichi. The stories I read with you today, and it's kind of a flashback to Kathleen, where Star and Stripes passed. Now Shigaraki goes on to say, "You thought I didn't realize there was more to the story, wrong." Or well, that's the little. I guess you can say the little text that I'm reading. That's what Star and Stripes kind of saying in her head and everything. And in the meantime, Shigaraki's using New Order for the first time, and Shigaraki's going to say that the air is. And then all of a sudden, we cut to a panel where Shigaraki, with All For One wrapped around him, is confronted by Star and Stripe. And all of a sudden, Shigaraki starts bulging up and getting big, and then his body starts to explode and everything. And now, I read the unofficial translation leaks before I read the official ones, but when I saw this, I was like, what the hell is freaking going on here? This is getting freaking insane. Again, when Shigaraki's bulging up and everything, it's a very grotesque looking scene. Like, again, for props to my Horikoshi for making this like look damn near a draw like some of the characters very gory looking or something you see at a horror film. But he explodes, and essentially the thing is he's bursting apart and everything. Now, Shigaraki's like, what's going on? My quirks are exploding out. And that's when we get the idea that, well, guess what? Star and Stripe goes on to say this. That's right. There was no time to blow him up with your plane, so I set a new rule at the last second. And her second rule, as she started to decay and die, it was New Order revolts against other quirks. So, All For One is very pissed off. He's like, Kathleen bait. Essentially, this is how they're depowering Shigaraki with his overpoweredness. And what she essentially did is she put a new order on the standpoint that when her quirk gets absorbed by Shigaraki, within Shigaraki, when he starts to activate quirks like New Order, for example, New Order will activate within his little vestige world and actually be on the attack of the other quirks that are stored within Shigaraki, essentially taking them out and finishing them off, which means he won't have access to those quirks anymore. And because of it, this is severely grading Shigaraki and powering him down in a very effective way, to where, guess what? Now you don't have to come up with some sort of BS way to depower Shigaraki because of how OP he is. It's pretty cool and a pretty smart strategy by Horikoshi's standpoint. Let's make Star and Stripe kind of destroy Shigaraki through the inside. Now, the question is, will this be going on forever, or will this get to a point where it's like, and here's what I'm taking as the only way I feel like this is going to stop is if Shigaraki releases the quirk and gives it to somebody else. That's the only way I can see that happening, because this order is already put on, okay, it's revolting against any quirk. And the only thing is, I'm guessing that means is, in order for him to have some of his quirks still maintained within him, he's probably going to have to give up New Order to somebody. Probably decay them, because he knows, oh shit, I can't frickin' use his power anymore, because otherwise his power is just going to kill me from the inside, and he's going to make me weaker. So I envision that's what's going to happen. He's going to give the quirk to somebody else, probably one of his minions, and then he's going to just kill them off and be like, crap. Now it's back to square one. I have to obtain one for all. And this is going to depower Shigaraki so much. The point is like, okay, Deku and maybe other heroes, morely Deku, will stand a chance against Shigaraki and stuff like that. It's going to be very interesting to see And it's gonna be very interesting to see and wonder what quirks is she taking out within the inside of Shigaraki. I would envision it's probably some of the more OP quirks Shigaraki has. It's also you gotta wonder, is Stormtrooper gonna take out that hyper regeneration quirk? Now, if that is taken out of the picture and he loses the hyper regeneration quirk, oh shit! And then Shigaraki and All for One are in a big conundrum, because in that case they're screwed, especially from the standpoint we've seen Shigaraki come out like a mangled corpse of a skeleton, and heal all that damage back up and get his skin back and everything. He loses that hyper regeneration quirk. Who knows what we're saying in terms of the storyline of how different this is gonna go now. But I definitely like this decision made by Horikoshi. It depowers Shigaraki to the point he is not going to be as OP as he was, like we saw from the last chapter. Because at some point when you read last chapter, you're like, dude, how is somebody gonna defeat Shigaraki? This guy's OP as shit. You can't defeat this guy. Nope, they found a way, and Horikoshi's like, well, I found a way to take care of that. So yeah, that's the thing. Now, Stormtrooper goes on to say the worst case would have been done having my quirk stolen outright. Sure, it would have been nice to protect my body too, as an added bonus. Too bad. I'm stopping this global menace in exchange for just my life is a small price to pay. And I think they made the standpoint, yes, it sucks for Star and Stripe to go out. I can understand why maybe some people be like, you only introduced her in like 6 chapters. We just got, information about her, and you just kill her off in like 6 chapters and then she's done. That's not a good thing. Now, some people might be pissed off. Some people won't be pissed off. They'll be like, well, it was a warranted sacrifice. I kind of like the line how she says it there, like, listen, if you steal my quirk, it's over, but to do this is a small price to pay. My one life for hundreds of thousands of people around the world, I'll make that sacrifice. And 2, we know from after she launched essentially the missiles, her commander said essentially like she probably would not be a hero no more for the action she took by releasing the missiles. So I'm guessing Horikoshi's like, well, there would have been nothing else for this character to do, because she would have to have been probably stopped by being a hero, and who knows the whole stuff that would have happened if she managed to survive. Maybe she could have probably been arrested for her breach of actions and stuff like that, and Horikoshi is probably like, you know what, let me give this way a sacrificial kill off where it makes it feel justified, where sacrifice is actually warranted and it actually has an effect for the end game of My Hero Academia, compared to having a sacrifice be like, oh, Shigaraki gets the quirk, boom, over. Because after that, I would have been like, okay, then how the hell are we gonna win this? But Horikoshi made an effective writing trope, and it's just kind of sad to see all this and everything. And obviously, her comrades, who she deemed her brothers in arms, are watching her essentially, decay away and everything. She goes on to say, thanks for everything. This backlash against my other quirks is like a cannibalistic invader. This is dire. I can only steal quirks or bestow them. I just can't dispose of one. And that was All for One saying that, and he's like, essentially he knows like, shit, I'm fucked right now. The thing what the pilots do is they start shooting lasers at Shigaraki as he's essentially convulsing and blowing up and everything. And they all know that Star and Stripe is fighting within Shigaraki from the inside and everything. So that's when they keep firing lasers, and they're like, we can't let this sacrifice go to waste and everything. So yeah. Now Shigaraki goes on to say, my reflect quirk has been destroyed, essentially saying that all these quirks are being destroyed. And Star and Stripe goes on to say, as she's about to die and decay away for good, she remembers the time when All Might first saved her, and she goes and say, because you saved me back then, I got to indulge in this lovely dream of mine. And you get a nice scene where All Might actually went down and talked to Cassie for a bit, and that was nice and everything. And you get this very emotional panel where you just see the face of Star and Stripe giving a smile, with essentially dying with a smile on her face, decaying for good. And she goes on to say, All Might, this is me returning the favor and everything. And this is when All for One. The chapter ends with All for One, in the Vestige World saying, "Damn you, Spectre of All Might," and that's where the chapter ends off. There is no break next week. Next Sunday there will be another chapter, chapter 334, and I'm guessing the only thing is maybe Shigaraki somehow finds a way to escape and retreat. And like I said, my only guess is maybe he just transfers the quirk to someone else, gets the quirk, and then just kills them, because he can't deal with this anymore. And that will just turn his focus back to be like, shoot, I gotta focus on getting One for All now, otherwise I'm done for. And I'm guessing, and I think this is like the one time. Now obviously All for One said he didn't foresee Star and Stripe coming to Japan, but I also think this is I think this is, you could say, probably the first time All for One, didn't see this coming to him. He thought he had it all in the bag, and then he got a little bit too overconfident. But then when Star and Stripe turned it on him and made a twist of her own, it kind of threw him off his game, and he's like, "Shit, great. That sucks." So this is a great chapter, a very emotional chapter, especially if you're a Star and Stripe fan. So yeah, but I really did like this chapter. I did like the way that they're depowering Shigaraki. It makes sense. So now Shigaraki's not gonna be as OP as we all thought he was only a few chapters ago. So it's gonna be very interesting to see where the story goes now. I'm guessing we're gonna get the conclusion to this whole area, and then I wonder if we're gonna cut back to what happens. Obviously, the word's gonna get out that Star and Stripe, the #1 hero in the USA, died, so that's going to change a whole bunch of stuff. Who knows what it says, but for the USA, in terms of their hero stuff and everything, because now their #1 hero's gone. So yeah, but this chapter was good. I enjoyed it. And yeah, but other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this manga chapter of Dragon Ball Super. My Hero Academia, as well as hit the subscribe button if you want to get more My Hero Academia content, whether it's whenever the anime returns or manga chapters. But other than that, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day or night when watching this video. Until then, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I start to sound more chipper, because honestly I sound kind of monotone and kind of like I don't kind of want to be here, but it is what it is. Anyways, I'm gonna get it for guys. Peace.